How you doing, guys? Chris here. And today we got something a little different. We're going to look at two H7 flight controllers. Normally I'd like to be out flying on such a gorgeous sunny day like today, but I live in a region of Italy that's in a red zone, so we're not allowed to partake in outdoor activities at the moment, which is very unfortunate because there's a lot of things I want to get done. But c'est la vie. This is what we have to do today. But we have two very good flight controllers here, two H7s. Both, I want to say made in America, but I think it's more along the lines of manufactured in America. I got the Flight 1 Lightning H7 and the Radix 2 from BrainFPV. Both of them have the H7 processor. And let's open them up and take a look and see what we got. All right, so I opened up the Flight 1 flight controller. So this H7 is the plug and play version. I really was torn whether I was going to get the solder version or the plug and play version. I went with the plug and play version just to see exactly what I could connect to it and what I couldn't. I knew I could solder whatever I needed to solder, but just wanted to try something new, see if it's actually more convenient. On their website, it says they provide a DJI cable. This is probably it here. The ends you have to solder up yourself. I don't see how this smaller one was going to plug into an air unit. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But according to their website, they have a 500 megahertz H7 processor. It does have AI. So this is something I wanted to talk about. You guys are familiar with AI. You know there's different levels of artificial intelligence. There's not just one kind of AI. So the very, very basic level is called machine learning. And I feel like this is sort of what we're looking at with this flight controller, is the machine learning. It's understanding, the inputs put into the flight controller, and it's figuring out what's good and what's bad. As far as AI is concerned, I don't think this thing is gonna do any flying for you, other than return to home and autonomous features like that. But the term AI seems to be used very broadly, and I think they're meaning machine learning. Let's see what else. It takes up to a 6S voltage. It's got some high power voltage regulators, and I think this is pretty cool. It's got 7 UARTs. That's pretty cool. And the mounting. Look at this mounting. So we have both 20 by 20 and 30 by 30 on the same board. And this is pretty interesting, this side rail here. So even if you had an unconventional mounting method, you could still get this in there. I like that. So that's a plus for me. Not USB-C, but standard micro USB. So that's a minus, but still an H7. So that's pretty awesome. Let's look at these connectors. So this is a very non-standard connector here. I think that's 12 pins in there. So I think that's what this big one is going to connect to. I see 8, and then 2 separated ones in the middle, so that's 10. Excuse me. I guess it's 10 pin connector. I take that back, not 12. Okay, so it's a little bit more regular. Bind button. And yeah, it says it has 1 gigabyte of onboard flashing. So that's pretty awesome. You don't have to hook up to the computer to flash new software. You can just load it, and then when you're in the field, switch between them. This is Flight 1, so it's gonna fly, what is that called? Flight 1 has Falco X. So that's another reason why I really wanted to try that, because I really want to try Falco X. I think this combination here is just going to be a fun experiment in itself. But since it's an H7, without being said, this is definitely a a flight controller to get. And I see here you've got these tear strips. So if you only wanted to do 20 by 20 and not the 30 by 30 and these things get in the way, I can see you can break these right off and cleans up your board pretty nicely. All right, that's pretty good. I can't wait to get that installed. Let's move on to the next one. And here we have the BrainFPV Radix 2. This is pretty much all the rage right now. This little guy has 6 UARTs. The H7 processor operates at 480 hertz or megahertz? Hertz or megahertz? Megahertz. So very comparable to the Flight 1 board, and has what I thought was kind of cool, the plug-in 8 motor outputs here. So you've got your standard plug-in, and then you've got an additional plug that comes in the bag here for 4 more motor outputs. I thought that was pretty neat. I mean, I'm not afraid of soldering, no big deal, but the fact that I can just plug it in and go, that's awesome. This also offers DJI support, but not a plug, which is fine, no big deal. I don't think I mentioned where they're from. I believe excuse me. I believe BrainFPV is out of Oregon, and the Flight 1 guys here, I believe they are out of Colorado. If I'm wrong, let me know, but I kind of am excited about not 1 but 2 American-based board designers. What's going on in America, what's going on in China, the struggles, the conflicts in between them, between trade and what they consider to be privacy and what we consider to be privacy are obviously 2 different things. So the more manufacturers we can get locally, I think is a better thing. Granted, I know half of these parts are not made in America. I know the sensor, the gyro rather, that is Bosch, so that's made in Germany. Probably these voltage regulators are made in China, and the only thing that's happening here is that it's assembled in America, but it's a start. We're getting somewhere. Same thing here with the Flight 1. I'm sure the majority of these components are made in China, but the fact that an American manufacturer has imported them and assembled them to ensure that nothing fishy is going on and there's no tracking of your information being sent back to other nations, that's pretty cool. If that were to be happening, I don't really know. But let's get back on topic. So this guy here comes with the new USB-C adapter, so I'm glad they updated that. The has 6 UARTs, and it does support both DJI and analog, so you get both best of both worlds here. Dual camera controls. It even has the LED indicators to let you know exactly your status of your flight controller. If something were to go out, you can identify what it is and maybe even bypass it or repair it. So cool board. I needed this because when I fly the big quads, these sensors tend to do a little bit better than the standard flight controller. It's arguable compared to your tune, compared to the amount of vibration your frame produces, but in general, the BrainFPV, especially the Radix series, does a good job of handling all those vibrations and keeping your quad in the air. So I'll be using this on a bigger build, probably a 10 to 12 inch frame as opposed to a 5 or 7 inch frame. I think this guy right here, this will definitely go in a 5 inch or maybe a 7 inch. I haven't decided yet. Maybe I'll try it in both because it's self-tuning That's pretty cool. I don't have to do much tuning for the Flight 1 Falco X, so kind of neat. But yeah, that's what we have here. We got two American manufactured H7 flight control boards, and I'm pretty excited to have them. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys.